For the second week in a row, Bitcoin had its highest weekly closing ever recorded. This shouldn't be a surprise to anyone on this show who knows how powerful Bitcoin is, as we've already said. The price of Bitcoin is looking quite promising, even though it shouldn't have been a surprise that it finished at its highest level for the second week in a row. Bitcoin does have a lot of confidence on its side. However, the market did experience a slight decline today, as shown by the large amount of red. There was a slight retreat in the markets that we saw today because it was Tuesday after Monday. We will have to wait and see what happens tomorrow morning because it's a long weekend. If you live in the US, you know it's a long weekend because I'm going to talk more about this. This is actually happening. And where does XRP stand? In the US, its price has dropped by about 2%, while in Bitcoin, it has dropped by about 1.5% and is now worth $2.30. The price is about the same. The worth is about 150 million, and the number of trades that happen every day is about 600 million. But before we go any further, I'd like to make it clear that nothing on this channel is meant to be taken as financial advice. Before you invest any money in cryptocurrency, you should do your own study, just like you would with any other investment. The market is going down. What is the government doing? A story that came out early this morning said that Trump supporters are trying to raise $3 billion, 0 cents, to buy Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. This is the biggest push the government has made so far to make the US the crypto capital of the world from a legal point of view. It is clear that Trump wants to make the US the crypto capital of the world. The United States is often seen as the center of the world. While this may not be true, it seems to be the case since banks are being allowed to move forward and the SEC is treating restructured cryptocurrency fairly. Even though Trump said something about these issues, we shouldn't completely ignore them. News outlets that support Trump have said that the stories in the Financial Times are not true and that the company is not raising $3 billion, 0 cents, to buy Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. The Financial Times has said that its authors are so stupid that they listen to even dumber sources, which is an interesting observation. Because of this, we can pretty much forget about the news that came out this morning. Moving on, you'll notice that the most recent digital asset funds received $300 million, 0 cents last week, bringing the total amount they've received up to this point to a record $10.8 billion. I think this has an effect on the markets as well because whales are coming in. We're not talking about regular people, institutional money that has been dying to get its hands on crypto assets and can now buy and sell them directly on Wall Street. Mutual funds and hedge funds are coming in thick and fast. Everyone who wants to use Bitcoin and Ethereum can now do so freely. When you look at the history of the number of inflows and where the money's coming from, you'll see that this isn't just a guess. It's happening right in front of our eyes. You guys already know this, so it's great. Should you smoke the XRP market or not smoke it? The XRP system is talked about in the World Economic Forum's Asset Tokenization Financial Markets 2025 study. It is clear that a number of companies have already started tokenizing private equity assets for their own gain. It was just announced that Aurum Equity Partner has set up the world's first tokenized fund that can invest in both private money and loans. The XRP ledger is worth $1 billion, 0 cents, and is open source and decentralized at the layer 1 level. This will encourage investments in data centers around the world and make it easier for buyers to join and exit the market through secondary markets. The above information is very positive. Additionally, the Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection, CFPP, has mentioned the possible benefits that consumers may derive from utilizing new technology. It also stated that it believes a wider adoption of Swift GPI products and the Ripple suites of goods could provide financial institutions and credit unions with accurate information regarding. A lot of people are confused about this, but I'll explain it and give you my opinion. It's possible that Florida doesn't have a capital gains tax, which would be great for cryptocurrency buyers. It's the goal of a law in Florida to get rid of the capital gains tax on cryptocurrencies like XRP in order to attract cryptocurrency investors and businesses to the state. I think that's how it should have been written. And they're moving forward with it anyway. A lot of people have said that Florida doesn't need a capital gains tax in this case. They are writing it down just to be safe. On the other hand, you should know that there can already be a bill in regard to equity investments. Being able to buy digital things is still very new, and there must also be bills that are approved. This seems to be the topic that people are talking about. On the other hand, this may lead many other states and maybe even other countries to look at this move and decide to join it. But let's be honest, even though cryptocurrency is still pretty new, a lot of people have spent a lot of money on it. First, let me say what a crazy ride it has been. I think the best thing to do would be to completely rule this out. If this were to really spread across the US, maybe even Canada and the rest of the world, it would be a big deal. When that time comes, cryptocurrency will be at a whole new level. But first, let's look at the current situation with the power. It's true that dominance has grown by 64.36% in the last few hours, which just shows how powerful it is. The value of Bitcoin's gone down a little recently. It was 11,000 when we woke up, which is what we had talked about the night before. Even though we were able to break through the important barrier of our most recent all-time high, we are now seeing a slight retracement from where we thought we should be. However, the dominance did increase slightly, which is why the value of other cryptocurrencies like XRP is going down slightly. We are currently working our way back down to the $228.00 support level. We all know that this is a very important support for XRP, but I don't want to talk about the price of XRP right now. From a macro perspective, XRP is doing very well and hasn't gone through any big changes in the short term, even though I know that a lot of people are getting annoyed by this is how it is.